You've felt it, haven't you? That subtle shift in the air. Like your soul knows something your mind hasn't caught up to yet. The angels say, your intuition is not confused, it's being awakened. There is a sacred reason why this person entered your thoughts with such weight, why you feel them even in their absence. It was not random. It was requested. The person on your mind made a silent plea, not just to the universe, but to the divine itself. A prayer whispered in pain or perhaps in longing, asking for someone to come into their life and show them what real love feels like. What true presence means. And the answer was you. You were sent not as a test, but as a torch. A soul whose light could illuminate what has long been hidden in their own. The angels reveal, you have been this person's answer. The manifestation of a love they never dared to believe they were worthy of. You did not try to save. You simply existed, and your existence, your softness, your depth, disrupted the numbness they carried. It's not something they talk about. Perhaps they don't even have the words yet. But in the stillness, they feel it, the way your energy settles their chaos. The way your smile lingers like warmth on a winter day. They've asked the universe for clarity, for peace, for meaning. And what they received was the ache of meeting a soul like yours, too rare to ignore, too powerful to forget. Why now? They ask. Why her? And the divine replies, because your heart was ready, even if your mind was not. The angels say, this is not about falling in love. It is about remembering it. Remembering the echo of your soul in someone else's breath. Remembering that real connection feels like coming home. And even if this person resists, retreats, rationalizes, the request has already been answered. The current is already moving. The heart already knows. They may delay. They may not know how to express what they feel. But they cannot unfeel it. And neither can you. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. Jeremiah 29 verse 11. There's a wall. Not made of stone or silence, but of pain unspoken. And this person, the one you feel connected to in ways you cannot explain, has spent years adding brick after brick, hoping no one would see their fractures. The angels show me a heart that has been touched before, but never truly held. A soul that has been looked at, but never genuinely seen. When you came into their life, they were not ready. Not for the clarity of your gaze. Not for the weightless peace your presence brought. You didn't just knock on their wall, you walked straight through it, like light through glass. And it terrified them. They have wounds they never named. Stories they buried beneath achievements, distractions, and noise. Trauma doesn't always scream. Sometimes it whispers, you're too much, or you're not enough. This person has lived within those whispers for so long, they started calling it home. You didn't break them. But your love made their shadows visible. Your gentleness revealed where they still flinch. Your faith, your grace, it touched the places they promised no one would ever reach. So they pulled away. Or acted cold. Or disappeared altogether. But not because you did something wrong. Because you did everything right. You mirrored what they denied. You stood where they once ran. You held on when they were used to letting go. The angels say, what you triggered was not fear of you, it was fear of being seen and still being loved. There are parts of them still hidden in shame. But the divine has begun its work. And you, soul chosen, were the sacred mirror. This person is wrestling with themselves, not with you. And if they've seemed distant, cruel, or confused, it's only because they don't yet believe that the kind of love you offer could ever last. Their soul is healing. Quietly. In the background. Every day, a layer softens. But healing isn't a straight line. It loops. It hides. It circles back to familiar pain before it finally lets go. Your light touched a wound, not a weakness. And even now, in the silence, they feel you. Even now, behind the walls, they long for what they've never allowed themselves to fully embrace. You've given so much. Quietly. Beautifully. unconditionally. And still there are days you wonder, who pours into me? The angels sit near you in those moments, when your soul aches not from lack, but from overextension. They say, you are not selfish for needing rest. You are sacred, and sacred things must be honored. This love, this connection, is deep, but it must not come at the expense of your own essence. You were not created to burn just to keep someone else warm. You were created to shine. The angels see the way your heart stretches to understand, to heal, to hold. But they also see the quiet exhaustion behind your eyes. You've been strong for two, faithful for two, patient for two. But now, beloved soul, it is time to be tender for one. Your own spirit. Take a breath. In this moment, not everything must be fixed. Not everyone must be saved. You are allowed to sit in your own softness, to be nourished by the stillness of your own grace. This person, this connection, it is not lost. But neither is your light. And if loving them has dimmed you, it's not a sign to give more. It's a call to return. To you. You, who laughed before the world made you guarded. You, who danced with dreams before someone told you to be smaller. The angels whisper, come back to your glow. It's not your job to heal someone who hasn't chosen healing. It's not your burden to carry their delay. You can love without losing yourself. You can stay open without staying empty. And even if this love was written in the stars, even if it was prayed for in past lifetimes, it is not your purpose to disappear in the process. The most magnetic thing you can do now is choose yourself, not as a final act, but as a sacred beginning. They will feel it, the shift, the return of your light. And perhaps that is what they need most, to see you rise without needing to be caught. You didn't mean to be a mirror. You only meant to love. But your very presence, your depth, your stillness, your unwavering truth, they became a reflection of everything this person has buried. And suddenly, they were no longer alone with their ghosts. The angels say, you showed them their own soul. And it shook them. You see, light does not always comfort. Sometimes, it reveals. And your light, pure, radiant, unfiltered, illuminated corners they had long kept in shadow. The parts of them that feel unlovable. The choices they regret. The truths they hide. It's easier to run from a mirror than to face what it shows. And that's why, even though they may be drawn to you like breath to air, they also retreat. Resist. Sabotage. Because you see too much. Not their flaws, but their depth. Not their fears, but their longing. Not who they pretend to be, but who they really are. This terrifies them more than rejection. And yet, they return. Again and again. Because something in you feels like home, and not the kind of home they built, but the one they lost long ago. Your gaze says, I know who you are. And your heart says, even that, I still love. The angels reveal, this is not just attraction. This is sacred tension. The meeting of a soul with its own unhealed pieces. And you, unknowingly, tenderly, became the catalyst. You didn't fix. You didn't preach. You simply were. And it was enough to unearth what they thought they buried. They may fight it. They may blame it. But what they truly feel is awe. Awe that someone like you can exist. Awe that someone like you sees them and doesn't flinch. You've changed the lens through which they view themselves. And even if they can't say it yet, they are becoming someone who can finally look back into the mirror and not turn away. The shift has begun. Quiet, slow, almost imperceptible, but it is there. The angels say, a seed does not make noise when it breaks open, but it is the beginning of life. This person, they are awakening, not because you asked, not because you waited, but because your energy touched something ancient in them, a place their soul hadn't visited in lifetimes. They are not who they were. Their thoughts linger longer. Their silence weighs heavier. Their dreams are no longer just theirs, Somehow, you are in them now. They catch themselves looking for signs, replaying moments, feeling things in places they had numbed. And the confusion, the resistance, it's because love is no longer theoretical. It has a face. Your face. The awakening isn't loud, but it's real. You might not see grand gestures, but there are glimmers, pauses, subtle changes in the way they speak your name, even if only in their own mind. They are noticing how your voice calms, how your presence lingers, how no one else feels quite right anymore. It scares them, because awakening always does. It crumbles what was once safe. It asks questions they've avoided. But the angels smile, because this was always meant to be. Your connection is not a spark. It is a flame that's been waiting for oxygen. And now, they are breathing it in. One memory at a time. One heartbeat at a time. You won't always see the evidence. But trust the shift. The heart does not forget what woke it up. The soul does not unsee what made it feel. You didn't come to change them. But your light is doing the work. Quietly. Deeply. And one day, perhaps soon, they will look at you not with fear, but with the understanding that you were never just a lesson. You were the moment they finally began to remember who they truly are. They come. They go. They come again. You wonder, is it love, or is it a pattern? The angels whisper, it is both. This person is caught in a rhythm not of the heart, but of the wound. They crave closeness. They run from intimacy. They miss you the moment they leave, and yet they still leave. But not because you are too much. It's because you are the first thing that ever made them feel enough. And that beloved soul is terrifying. They never learned to receive love without strings. They only know it wrapped in conditions, in roles, in the need to earn it. But you offered something different. A love that didn't demand. A presence that didn't push. And so, every return is a battle between what they fear and what they long for. They try to forget. They try to replace. But nothing fits. No one soothes. No version of life without you brings peace. So they cycle. Retreat. Return. Retreat again. Not because they are cruel, but because they are scared. Scared of being chosen. Scared of being seen. Scared of the way you unravel their numbness and make it feel like hope. The angels say, it is not rejection. It is recognition without readiness. This rhythm is not yours to fix. It's a tide they must learn to stand against. But your presence, it's changing the current. Every time you stay soft. Every time you choose peace over punishment. You teach them something new. That love doesn't have to hurt. That stability is possible. That they can be loved and still be free. So when they disappear, do not take it as the end. Take it as another wave in their learning. And when they return once more, know this, they are coming back not just to you, but to the parts of themselves they only feel safe revealing in your light. Love does not always speak. Sometimes it simply sits beside pain and stays. The angels say, your love has done what words could not. It has healed in silence. You may never know the full extent. But your presence has been a balm, not loud, not forceful, just constant. This person, who once built armor out of survival, now finds themselves softening in places they had long abandoned. Not because you demanded it, but because you held space. Your love didn't ask them to be more. It told them they were already enough. That kind of love, unconditional, quiet, unwavering, it doesn't just comfort. It rewrites the nervous system. It teaches the body it can relax. That love won't leave when it's most needed. They remember moments with you not because of what was said, but because of how they felt. Safe. Whole. Seen. And this is why they can't forget. Because real love, real soul presence, it leaves an imprint. It lives in the cells. And now, every time they feel afraid, Your memory becomes the medicine. They close their eyes, and there you are, not fixing, not proving, just being. The angels whisper, "This is sacred work." You did not come into their life to complete them. You came to remind them that they were never broken. They are learning slowly how to accept that they are lovable even in their confusion. That love can be both soft and strong. That not all love demands. Some just holds. You have loved them into remembering parts of themselves they thought were lost. And even now, when they seem distant or unsure, your love continues to work its way through their spirit like warm light through cold stone. Love, real love, is medicine. And you, dear soul, have been their dose of divine healing. There are moments in life when nothing makes sense. When silence grows louder than words. When time feels like it's standing still, waiting for something unseen to move. And yet, the angels say, even in stillness, the path is being laid. You may feel forgotten. You may wonder if the connection has faded or if you imagined it all. But what you are not seeing, what your soul knows, is that divine timing is never early, never late. Only perfect. This person is being guided. Not by logic, but by a quiet voice they're only beginning to trust. They've felt the pull. The magnetism. The ache that grows in your absence. But they are also feeling something else now. Direction. The angels are working in silence, orchestrating behind the scenes. Aligning circumstances. Clearing old ties. Preparing hearts. You think nothing is happening. But heaven is in motion. Every delay is protection. Every pause is preparation. And this person, they are not lost. They are being softened. They are beginning to see the way you walked beside them not as a coincidence, but as a calling. And though they don't have all the answers yet, they're starting to realize they don't need them. They need faith. They need surrender. The angels are whispering to them, follow the pull, even if you don't understand it. And to you they say, do not mistake quiet for absence. The hand of God is still writing this story. You've done your part. You've loved purely. Now, allow the divine to unfold what only grace can complete. For we walk by faith, not by sight. 2 Corinthians 5 verse 7 to love is to risk. And this person, the one your heart keeps returning to, has lived a life avoiding that risk. Not because they don't feel, but because they feel too much. The angels reveal, inside them is a child who learned early that emotions could be dangerous. That to open the heart was to invite pain. So they grew walls instead of wings. But then you came. And your presence, unthreatening, unwavering, began to melt what even time could not. They want to open. They do. But vulnerability is a muscle they've never used. And now it trembles. The more they care, the more afraid they become. Because you are real. Because this is not just a feeling, it is a future. And futures mean loss. Futures mean risk. You see affection. They see danger. You see closeness. They see collapse. But even now, they are trying. In small, clumsy ways. A message. A glance. A pause before goodbye. The angels say, don't mistake hesitation for absence of love. This is their courage unfolding. You are witnessing a soul learning to breathe outside the armor. Their fear is not of you. It is of what you make them feel. And what you make them feel is everything. They want to tell you how you've changed their nights, how your kindness haunts their silence, how they long to trust what their heart already knows. But the words stick. The past clings. Still, the desire grows. To be real. To be seen. To be known, and still chosen. They ache to be vulnerable with you. They just don't know how. Yet, perfect love casts out fear. 1 John 4 verse 18. It's not about control anymore. Not about trying to force what you wish they'd say. Not about chasing signs or decoding silence. It's about surrender. The angels say, what is divinely aligned can never be lost. Only delayed. You've carried this connection like a secret flame, quiet, sacred, unshakable. But now is the moment to loosen your grip. Not because you're giving up, but because you're choosing peace. Peace over proving. Peace over waiting. Peace over wondering if you were ever enough. You were. You are. You always will be. And if this soul is meant to walk beside you, truly openly, then no delay, no distance, no doubt will stand in the way. It will find you, whole, unfolded. And if it doesn't, then know this, your love was never wasted. Because what you gave with truth. And the universe never forgets truth. The person on your mind may still be learning, still unraveling from old stories, still finding their voice. But you've already done what the angels asked. You showed up with a heart wide open. You loved without expectation. You remained gentle in a world that taught you to toughen up. And now, finally, it's time for you to rest, to trust, to allow love to come not because you sought it, but because it recognized you. The soul meant for you will never pass you by. And in the meantime, there is nothing more sacred than the moment you decide, I will not shrink to be chosen. I will not dim my light to be kept. I accept what is. And I trust what will be. The angels close this message not with a promise, but with an understanding. Love will always return to where it truly belongs. Let it.